Gunline, gunline, gunline. Fire mission coming down. You're listening to the On the Gunline podcast where we shoot the shit like we did in the past. Today, I'm grateful to have one of my good homies from back in the day. We served together in 2005 through 2007 out in Fort Hood, Texas. And shit, he looks like he ate himself because he is now twice at least the size he used to be.
I'm healthy. Okay.
He is healthy. He's a healthy country bumpkin. And with that being said, man, thanks for being here today. Everybody here on the gun line, make sure you go ahead and pop a squat because it's about to get hot. With me is old Nathan,
or whatever.
Nathan Dowden from the great state of Arkansas.
Yes.
By way of Oklahoma now, I believe.
Yes, I've been in Oklahoma. Shit, I can't even tell you how many years now. A while.
It's been a hot minute because I know I went to visit you out there when I was in school. Shit, man. Welcome to the gun line, brother. Thanks for being here.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Glad to be here.
Dude, Happy New Year, by the way.
Uh-oh. Happy New Year to you as well, sir.
Hey, what the fuck is this, sir? Bullshit. I work for a living, goddammit. I think civilian life done got to you.
Shit, I've been doing this civilian shit for way too long.
Yeah, sir. Shit, I mean, you got out, what, in about 2007, 2008?
I got out before, right when everything was kind of going over to First Cav, when 4ID was moving and all that crap.
Right on. Well, for those folks that don't know you, Baby D, do me a solid and let's get a little bit of background story on you. Where from? Yeah, where you from? And where'd you grow up? Why'd you join the fucking army? And why 13 Bravo to begin with?
So, name's Nathan Dowden. I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah, boy. Anyways, grew up in a little town off of I-40 called Forest City, Arkansas. Lived there for quite a while. Basically dropped out, went and moved to a town called Jonesboro where my brother lived and a bunch of other friends. So lived there for a while, about a year or so. Wasn't really going anywhere in life or doing anything in life. So I've been watching a lot of Band of Brothers when it come out. So I was all like, oh shit, I'm gonna join the army. I mean, my dad was in the Navy. I've got uncles that were in the army. Grandparents were all in some sort of military. So it just fits with the family.
Yeah, no shit. Right on. So how'd you end up walking into the recruiter's office?
So went into the recruiter's office and he was a 13 Bravo anyways. So I walked in there. I didn't have to see the videos or none of that shit. He's like, dude, this is what you want. You want to be a 13. I was like, I don't really know. You know, he's all like, dude, man, you can blow shit up. It's awesome. And he was a paladin guy. He's like, it's like being in a tank just miles away. And I was like, what else you got? He's like, well, for you, I've got infantry and 13 Bravo. That's it. And I was like, well, looks like 13 Bravo might be the one.
What a dick, dude.
Apparently, I didn't even have a good enough score to be a cook. So there you go.
Dude, all you got to do is be able to blink and spell your name and you can be a fucking cook.
Well, he didn't offer me cook, okay? I wouldn't have taken it anyways, though.
I guess because you're from Arkansas, they figured, you know what? 13 Bravo was going to be.
Yeah. So he helped me actually get my GED because I didn't even have a GED at the time. So
oh shit.
Yeah. So he helped me get a GED. He had all the paperwork. I had tattoos at that time, which weren't anything. So they had to take pictures and send those off. And, you know, I didn't have a criminal background, so that was pretty easy. So the only hurdle I had to jump was the GED hurdle.
Wow.
In Arkansas, if you can blink your eyes, you're pretty good.
Well, you know that the toothbrush was invented in Arkansas?
The teeth brush?
Yeah, anywhere else it would have been called a teeth brush.
Well, I don't know why it was invented in Arkansas because that place is covered in meth and people usually don't have their teeth. So
that's what's up, man. God, it's so great to see you again, man. I mean,
it's been a while.
It has. I mean, we text here and there, you know, keep up with each other, but the last time we actually hung out was for the Quintero incident.
Yeah.
No, that was back in 2015. It's 5 years ago. It's amazing how time flies, bro.
Damn, has it been 5 years?
Yeah,
I guess it has. I don't know. A lot of that stuff, like with Q and then who I can't remember the other name. It was
Johnson.
like a few weeks after, like that was just kind of a dark time.
Yeah, it was, bro. Yeah, it
It was
was.
unexpected. At that time, Q was in Fort Seal, and I've always tried to make it a point, when we lived down there, because we live up by Oklahoma City now, but
Yeah.
when we lived there in Altus, I always try to make it a point, like, hey, any of the old guys, if you're over at Hood or over at Seal, give me a shout. I'm 45 minutes west. We can hang out and all that shit. And I didn't even know Q was there or anything. So I
Wow.
wish, in the back of my mind, I think, if he might have known that maybe I was closer, he might have called and been like, hey, man, I'm having a dark time. Be like, yeah, I'll get in the truck, man. I'm headed that way. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, no
But
doubt. I mean, it boggles the mind, when you start thinking about shit in hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, like everybody that knows me and Q, our relationship was never a friendly one. You know what I'm saying?
it was like oil and water.
But I mean, he had reached out to me at one time, in earlier in 15, and I tried to reach back out to him, and he said, "I can't talk right now. I'll hit you up later." Lo and behold, I didn't hear from him again, and then a few months later, he, ended
Yeah.
up what happened. So I mean, like in my mind, for like, I'm wondering what was going on that he needed to reach out, especially to somebody like me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Out
know.
of all the people to reach out to, he reached out to you.
Right. So I'm wondering, like, oh shit. I mean, how bad was the shit that he was going through, that he was just, I don't know if he was reaching out or just wanted advice or anything. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
either way, no matter what our relationship was in the past, I'm still here for a brother regardless. You
Oh
know?
yeah, definitely. It's a brotherhood. I mean, it really is.
Yep.
Even if you don't like somebody, that's just how it is. I mean, y'all been through shit together, so.
Except for Freeman.
Ooh, well, I got a story about that fucking guy. But no, like you come over and hung out. Do you remember Stout? I think he was in Bravo Battery, maybe.
Oh, that was with us in Alpha.
Yeah, what he was. Yeah, so he was there at Hood or Fort Steele for a really long time as a trainer.
Okay.
And hell, he become part of the fucking family, man. I mean, I talk to him all the time. He just had a daughter. I want to say in November, I think she was born. I mean, hell, he'd come down to the shop and me and him went hunting. I mean, he was over at the house all the time. When he was getting shipped to Alaska, he stayed here at the house before he left. I mean, he about you and him are the only ones that have ever come around and seen the family since
No,
y'all were there at
and
Seals.
it's funny that you mentioned that he became kind of part of the family, because you guys are welcoming, very welcoming, with open arms. I mean,
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Like, I went out there and I was greeted like I was just kin from y'all. You know what I mean? And we hung out, drank some brews, shit. Just told some stories and ate, and just, it was a great time. I mean, I really enjoyed my time out there with y'all. And we went to go play some motherfucking some golf.
Had some golf, got to see some walkers.
Some walkers. For those that don't get that, it's a little inside joke. There were some walkers out there, and I think The Walking Dead was a pretty fucking
It was pretty big back then.
yeah, it was, dude. Oh man.
And we might have had some beers in us too, so
Oh yeah.
it was very funny.
Yeah, well, we were trying to play golf in dirt because it was so dry out there at the time too.
The fucking jackrabbits. I'm
Oh.
trying to see if we can hit the jackrabbits, is what it was too.
Dude, fucking
Hopefully
awesome.
nobody from Pete is watching. Sorry, my bad.
Fuck.
We didn't hit any anyways because we sucked. So
yeah, we did. We lost more balls than we actually made holes. So
that's why I don't buy good balls when I go golfing.
touche.
Y'all got some of the balls you pulled out of the lake? I don't even care what they are. They're going back in there.
So when you got out of the military, did you have any second thoughts of maybe coming back in? Or
I did. And the main reason I got out was the battery. I didn't like the way the battery was going, and I couldn't go. I mean, I was an E4. People were leaving to do schools. People were getting promoted, and at the time I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll stay in. Maybe I'll change my MOS. So went and talked to him. They're like, would you stay in? I was like, I actually would stay in, but I want to change my MOS. And they're like, we really need 13 Bravos bad. And it was another one of those deals like, oh yeah, we'll change you to an 11 Bravo. No, I don't want to do that shit.
right.
I wanted to go be, I honestly wanted to go be a Black Hawk mechanic to eventually, get into that stuff. But obviously wasn't probably smart enough anyways, or else they would have offered it to me the first time around. So they were like, "Well, we'll give you 13 Bravo, or yeah, we'll let you stay 13 Bravo. We'll give you." I can't remember what the bonus was at the time. It might have been like 10 grand or something like that to sign back up for another 3 years. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
At the time, you were single, right? You were still single at the time.
I was actually married at the time
Oh,
with
were you?
my first wife. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, anyways, I ended up going back to Arkansas, and man, I found it real hard to find jobs. To be honest with you, I
Hmm.
had in my mind, when you get out, you're going to be solid. You're going to be good. I went to the job fairs and all that shit, which ended up getting me into the industry I'm in now. But man, I applied for like Loomis, Pepsi, the prison, because there's a prison there in Forest City, which I couldn't get on. I was great on paper, but I couldn't get on with them because I had credit issues.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They won't let you on if you've got, pending credit or bad credit. I guess they think you might get paid off. I don't know what happened.
Be extorted.
Yeah. So, which obviously it was that damn military star card was what ultimately got me.
Right. Even when you're out, they fucking find a way to fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So ended up basically going to the papers and looking in the papers trying to find stuff. Got linked up with a rice farmer. So
do you hear that?
hear what?
It's like a beep.
The voices in your head.
No, when you're talking, I hear a beep. Hmm.
Echo.
No, it's not an echo. It's like a feedback type beep. But we're good. Go ahead.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's a small beep. Sorry for y'all listeners if you're listening right now. Just trying to figure out what this hell is. This is. I don't know
Technical
what it
difficulty.
is.
I
Do
don't
you
know
have
what it
maybe a
is.
microphone or a speaker too close to another speaker or something? Maybe.
No, I don't think so. That should be good.
Fuck it. Let's push through.
Oh, I did just hear a beep. Beep. I don't know what that is.
It sounds like a eek.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Hmm. All right, let me pause this real quick. We'll be right back with y'all with the magic of the pause button. And we're
Boom.
back. And now, yeah, I guess we discovered that all you got to do is take a hammer to a fucking computer and it'll fix it. And honestly, we don't have no
It
idea.
works all the time, right?
Hell, hey, 13 Bravo way, baby.
That's
So
right.
where were we? We're discussing
Jobs.
yeah.
So started working for a farmer. Worked for him for probably 6 or 7 or 8 months, somewhere around there. Ended up getting a call from a recruiter that I had, a job recruiter that I had met at Fort Hood at one of those job fairs. It was for Weatherford Fracturing Technologies, oil and gas company. They were opening up a yard in Conway, and they were like, "Hey, we've got a spot open in Elk City, Oklahoma.
Mhm.
If you go over there, whenever we open up the yard in Conway, we'll just transfer you back." And I was like, "Shit, why not? Like, don't have much going on. Marriage is fairly in the dumps, anyways." So off I went. Um, Worked, and I've been in oil and gas since.
Shit.
Yeah, let's see. I worked for Weatherford Frac for about a year. Started working for a little company, a little wireline company called Intertech Wireline, which they ended up selling out to a bigger company called Schlumberger,
Mhm.
and they shut the yard down in Elk City when things got slow. Recessions are a bitch in the oil and gas industry.
Oh, sure.
Um, anyways, drove a truck a little while because I had my CDL. Drove a truck for delivering steel for about, I don't know, 6 months.
Okay.
Old boss had called me back with another company. Went back over there. He left. I ended up taking over as the manager. Ended up worked there for about 6 years.
Wow.
Ended up leaving there and going to the company I'm with now.
Okay.
And I've been with them 2021 will be 7 years.
Wow.
And just worked my way up to a pretty good management position now. So
Right on, dude. That's great. I mean, and I think that a reality check for a lot of us is when we get out, we know is that we think that having that DD 214 or that, having that military
you
background.
think when you get out, like shit, everybody's gonna want to hire me. I'm structured. I'm in shape. I don't do drugs. I'm not in any trouble. Like, what employer wouldn't want to hire you?
Right.
I
And
mean, unfortunately, at 13 Bravo, that job does not translate into anything in the civilian world at all. Like, absolutely nothing. At least, like an 11 Bravo, a police officer or something like that, which 13 Bravo in a sense still is an 11 Bravo. We did 90% infantry stuff when we were deployed anyways. At
mm,
least my deployment, when we were deployed, because we weren't a hot gun or nothing like that.
right, right.
So it was all basically 11 Bravo shit.
Exactly. And I think especially coming out as between E1 and E4, it's a little difficult to translate your job duties into something that is
Looks good on paper.
yeah, it looks good on paper, basically on a resume. Because unless you're in a leadership position, you can't really translate. I was a fucking powder monkey. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, what's that going? I was a number one man. Well, I wasn't. I was a driver, but I was a number. Well, what the hell does that mean for my company?
right?
What's a
I
number
mean,
one man?
now that I'm out and I could formulate a bit more thoughts. I'd be like, okay, I'm very good at multitasking. Here's my example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you could break down the number one man position and all the things that are going on at one time. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's all about how you word it. But when you're getting out, the Army, I think I was talking with Sergeant Cannon about this. I wish they would have like a sponsorship program for when you're getting out. That way they could ease you into the civilian world.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I wish one thing I wish I would have taken advantage of when I was in was the schooling.
yeah,
Being able to take a college course and leave with maybe an associate's or a bachelor's degree when you get out. When I was in, that was the last thing on my mind, dealing with that shit. Like, but thinking back as it now, I'm like, man, why didn't I take advantage of that?
well, because you were what, mid-20s?
Oh
That
yeah,
that really wasn't on the mind. You're trying to play catch up to all your buddies that were out in civilian life, living the fucking fun time, or what we would consider something living in the real world. So like, fuck, what
yeah,
did I miss out on? I want to catch up, but at the same time, shit, I also got responsibilities coming to me. You know,
yeah.
so that's
And it
tough.
was, I wish I would have taken advantage of that because I saw a lot of guys doing it. Cruz was one of them. Whenever we were all still in, he was going to classes and shit like that.
Yeah.
It just, Sergeant Landis was doing stuff like that. Like all the older guys that were, I don't know, because I mean, Cruz was the same rank that I was, but I mean, even like Reen and Quintero and all them, like they were being pushed by their, leader Tank to kind of, hey guys, y'all probably need to do this. It looks good on the board, promotion boards and shit like that too. And at that time, I wish I would have had that same thought process.
Right.
I mean, I towards the end, I really started giving more of a shit about trying to learn, the gun, the number one man position, and the cheat sheet. Because I remember one deal we did was they were trying to get everybody in the gun kind of certified, or at least good knowledge of how to operate in case somebody went down. And I wish we would have done more of that.
Right.
It started out because when we started 277, I mean, shit, we didn't have equipment. When we started getting equipment, like we still didn't have enough people to do everything. So that would have been a perfect time to say, all right, all these new guys, let's try to bring them in and let them learn some of this stuff. Because when I went through OSET, I was actually on the 105. So I didn't know shit about the Paladin.
Okay. And I think a lot has to do with it as well with the op tempo was,
Yeah.
yeah, your primary MOS is 13 Bravo. However, we're going to be going to Iraq here at the end of the year. And you're more than likely not going to be shooting a fucking howitzer. So yeah, you could learn the outside and certify on paper, but what you're going to be doing is get used to this 1114. This home
Oh
is
yeah.
gonna be your home. You know what I mean?
And the field problems started transitioning into more of that towards, once we got closer. It was almost like the guns were just taxis to fucking get us where we needed to go, and that was it.
Exactly, dude. I think we only went. I mean, we shot a few times. There were some great times shooting in the field with the Paladin, but the one that sticks out the most to me is that month-long fucking rotation that we were out there, and
Oh,
I think we did like maybe 1 or 2 weeks in the Paladin, and the rest of the time was just going.
nothing but Humvees, nothing but convoys and shit like that, which it was fun, but it was like, okay, this really is not my MOS.
Right.
I want to shoot fucking gun.
Exactly.
I want to make things go boom.
Exactly. And they didn't tell us that after we watched the video, though, or after we looked at
No.
the paper.
Well, see, I actually for a little stint got stuck in ammo. I don't know how. Maybe somebody thought I was a shitbag. I don't know. But I think you had somebody on. I think it might have been McCabe because I can remember that. That was the first field problem we had, and he was right. We literally had to move all those fucking rounds and place them where they needed to go.
Damn.
We literally worked. I can't remember how many hours. We were out there before anybody else was, and they just dropped everything in one spot. Well, not everybody can pull in right there, so you have to space all that shit out. We literally had to hand move all that shit where it needed to go.
Fuck that, dude.
After that, I was all like, okay, I have to find a way to get into a section, and I need to do it quickly.
Whose section did you end up in?
I ended up in Weimert's section,
Okay.
and that was I ended up there driving the cat, which I was like, hey, I'm in a section. It's it's still not the gun, but it is what it is.
Yep.
And then old Sleepy Diaz kicked in. Old Weimert had enough. Dowden, what's up, Chief? You're driving for me now. Fucking Diaz can't stay awake and can't read stuff back. And I was like, oh shit, you got to do other stuff besides drive? You got to write some shit down?
Yeah, buddy.
I struggled with that because that shit was coming over the radio quick. And if you were just kind of like, bad.
Yeah, you got to keep that motherfucking, you got to keep the paperwork on point.
What kind and every now and again, you kind of mess up and you may have a round that sits in your tube while you're driving down the trailhead too.
I've heard about that story. Right? I think old Dozy Diaz told me about that story about a certain section chief whose name will not be said, even though it probably was already said.
Hey, everybody's out now. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Dude, I mean,
it's a true story. We drove, I can't remember, we drove for like an hour and had that fucker stuck in the tube.
Well, it's not like it's going to go anywhere. You know what I mean?
No, it ain't going to fall out or nothing. It ain't going to go boom. So,
I mean, it would have been fucked up if we had different rounds with different fuses. Then,
oh, yeah. And we were praying the next shot would be what we had. I think we had we were supposed to be shooting time delay. And I think we had maybe one that was detonate on, whenever it hits.
Point dead, yeah.
Yeah, point dead. I think that's what we had in. And we were like, what do we do? And Chief was all like, fuck it. We'll leave it in there. We'll shoot it on the next one. I was like, hey, that'll work.
Fuck it. Hey, you know what, man? You got to do what you got to do as a section chief sometimes. I mean, luckily, I was never in a situation like that where I had a round in the tube. That I never did that, but I did some other shit that might have been questionable. But
questionable, it happens.
I never fired out, and I always fired safe. So
hey, that's all that matters.
So yeah, man. I mean, dude, it's a trip. Being able to catch up with everybody on here. Like catching up with Cruz this last year before he passed.
Yeah,
catching up with you, catching up with Diaz, just a lot of members out in the military. I find this being really great because it's a good way for us to keep in touch together. You know what I mean? Without it having to be a fucking funeral.
Without it had to be a funeral, or obviously anybody had to really travel much anymore. It's. Everybody lives so far away from one another that it's all like, I can't just run down and I'm going to go run down to fucking Lopez's house real quick. Fuck, that's 6 hours,
Yeah, for real, dude.
You can't just run down to Lopez's house.
Dude, no shit. And how far are you on now? You're out by Oklahoma City now, right?
Yeah, I'm up by Oklahoma City now, but I mean, I travel so much. I say travel. I'm down in Midland. I was down in Midland earlier this week. I mean, I'm back and forth with the way, with the way this COVID has really hit my business, or this industry, oil and gas industry as a whole, has been really, really tough this year. To manage business and people. Well, people aren't traveling, planes aren't flying and stuff like that, and everything getting shut down. There's less need for oil, to make the fuels and everything else. So we had that hit us. The Saudi, Russia kind of pissing contest, they flooded the market right before all this, which dropped the fucking pricing down.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason on an election year, oil and gas always sucks too. So we've had 3 things that have hit us, and I've seen, business I'm with, the board has basically shut down all operations here in Oklahoma. So I've had to lay people off, shut down a business here.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, I'm working from home. I have no office to go to. This is my office.
Right.
So, and I've just seen, a lot of companies shut down, a lot of mom and pop companies that have been open for 20 years, just couldn't survive this.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, I think last time I looked, there was somewhere around 90,000 oil and gas jobs, people that have been laid off this year.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's probably one of
Halliburton,
those jobs.
Halliburton, which was a big company, it is a big company here in Oklahoma. They had a shop in El Reno. They shut it down and laid off 800 people the week before Christmas last year. Yeah,
Dude, I mean,
800 people jobless right off the bat.
and I mean, like you were saying, I mean, and it's not just the fucking just the COVID. I mean, it's just everything, the politics involved behind it.
Yeah, I mean politics in a whole too. Have it's put this business back into another recession. About every 2 to 4 years, oil drops out. And I mean, we deal with it it's like clockwork every 2 to 4 years, but it takes forever to get back to where it needs to be. It can drop off in a month, but
Right.
it takes years to get back up to where it was.
God, that was going to be my next question. Is it something that can be picked back up to the level where it's at prior to? So, I mean, how do the businesses end up surviving? Shit
A
like
lot of the oil and gas producers, they have their stuff hedged. It's basically what it is. So they'll hedge it out for 4 or 5 years. No matter what happens, it stays the same price. A lot of people survive just off stacking money up because they know every 4 years it's going to happen. So they, like the business I was with, they own 4 or 5 other companies all within one umbrella, but they had somewhere around, I think, $400 million set aside, knowing that a downturn was going to happen.
fuck.
And that was the only way we survived. This is basically with that money. I mean, we weren't buying new equipment. We were just, you know, we furloughed a bunch of people. A bunch of people got laid off. We took pay cuts. No more bonuses. Like it's been real hard
Right.
this year.
I guess it definitely puts to mind motherfuckers need to live within their means. Because
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of people that they'll, no matter how much money you make, they'll end up spending as much as they make, so they're living paycheck to paycheck. Versus, hey, there's got to have that oh shit fund. 'Cause
oh
you
yeah.
never
And
know.
I mean, these guys in oil and gas, shit. Some of these hands are making $25, $30 an hour. You know, a lot of managers are making 6 figures a year
Damn.
plus bonus and yearly bonuses and stuff like that. I mean, it's when you're in it, the money's great. When things are going awesome, there's lots of work. The fucking money's awesome. But when it like this year, when it takes a turn, it hits fucking hard.
Yeah, because I remember as I was getting out, there were a lot of people that were saying they're going to start going to the oil fields because that's where the money was at. They
That
were
is
going like
true.
the Dakotas or here in Texas. I guess they call them patches, like oil patch or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And hey, I was like, good for you. I can't do it because my back is too fucked up. And I
Oh
know
yeah.
that's got to be some intensive fucking labor out there.
Yeah. Some of it can be, and a lot of heavy lifting, and obviously bending over and moving your body in ways that, so someone like you's got a fucked up back. It would just make it 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that there was people coming like flying from out of state, like from Florida, for example, will fly into Texas, do their 2 weeks, and then fly back out because they're off for like a week, and then come back again 2 weeks. Is that
Yeah, we call those
rotation?
guys. They call them smoke jumpers, is what they call them, because that's what they do. But yeah, like a lot of places will do like a 14 and 7 rotation where you're on for 14 days, and when you're done, you're off for a week.
Damn. But I
Yeah,
mean,
there's
it's
a lot
fucking
of people that come from out of town. Down in Texas, I've got quite a few guys that are from Louisiana and shit like that that come over and work for me.
damn. You
Yeah,
know, I think it's something that we should also implement in the military. I mean, they started doing it when I was getting out. They would start showing like there would be like unions that would show up and give like apprenticeships for like
really.
welding and shit like that. That's definitely great, especially for somebody that's getting out. Because you know what, education or higher learning in college is not for everybody. You
It's
know,
not. It takes a lot of work, and you've got to kind of, I guess, want it. I guess is
yeah,
like you've got to stick with it. It's not something you can just kind of do a little bit of and then set it aside. It's constant. I mean, I
right.
saw my wife do it. She's been in school, not anymore, but she was in school most of, our whole relationship, and she just got her master's last year. So
Was she a nurse, or what was it that she was?
no, she works for the school systems. She's I can't remember what she does now. Something with money.
Right on, dude. I mean,
That's all I know.
you know, I'm a firm believer in you don't need a fucking college degree for everything. An
No,
associate's degree has become a fucking the equivalent to a high school diploma. You
that's
know,
the truth. Yeah, I agree with you.
it basically, I mean, and then people go out and get these degrees in something that has absolutely nothing to do with.
Liberal arts.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that means, but
I got a master's in finger painting.
dude, and then they come out though expecting to make 60 or 50 a year, but you have no experience to back that piece of paper up, you know.
No.
And like you said though, in the military, if Joe was to take his time and do the education thing and say he has a plan, I guess the biggest thing is having a plan when
Yeah.
you're out.
I didn't have a plan. I was like, when I get out, somebody's gonna give me a job. I'm gonna be set.
Yeah.
Was totally not the case.
Yeah.
My wife says they've got a pretty good technology degree there, and they're all saying IT is going to be IT and aerospace is what the big industries are going to be.
And that's cool, man. They can have that shit. But the way I figure it, I'm gonna teach my kids how to use their hands, how to work their plumbing, how to work basic electricity, because you know what? Those are the fields that are still gonna be needed. And in the future, those are the fields that are gonna be paying buco fucking money.
Oh yeah.
Because a plumber will come in just to come and see your shit and diagnose it. $75 right there. Bam. Oh,
Yeah.
You got a leak.
You got a leak. I can fix it for another 200.
Exactly. And people get mad like, oh, why is he taking all that money from us? Well, that's expensive as fuck to twist a wrench. Well, you also got to take into account that he's doing the job that you can't do.
Exactly. He's got the skills. That's what I tell my boys. Told both of them. I was like, I don't care what y'all do. I just don't want y'all to get into oil and gas. Y'all get a trade, because I'm telling you, dude, this is a stressful industry to be in.
Yeah.
It's hard on me. It's hard on my wife and the boys when I'm traveling all the time or late up at night. It's just hard on them. Plus, I want my kids to do better.
Right.
Not saying I did wrong, but I want them in an industry that's not constantly doing this.
Right.
I want them to get a trade.
Exactly.
HVAC, electrical, welding, plumbing, something
that's going to be needed in the fucking future. And even if it's not something that they go into as a career wise, it's something that they'll be able to do at home. Because nothing's more manlier than being able to fucking fix your own shit at home.
Oh, yeah. And it's way cheaper too.
A lot cheaper. Plus, there's nothing more embarrassing than when your old lady tries to call her dad and say, "Hey, Pop, can you help me fix this shit? Because my husband ain't worth a dick." Yeah.
Because my husband don't know shit. But not just that. Trade schools are generally cheaper than it's getting a 2-year associate's degree. I mean, there's a great welding school here. I want to say it's somewhere around like $10,000 or $15,000.
Wow.
But when you get out, you know how to do all types of welding, and you're a certified welder.
Fuck.
And it's a 6-month program. You're done. You can go to work.
Those fuckers get paid bank too, man.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, when I first met my wife, he was pipeline welding is what he was doing, and shit, he was making fucking shit tons of money. Yep. And then when oil and gas took a crap, hell, he took a 6-month vacation, didn't do anything, had enough money stacked up that he didn't have to do nothing.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Now he drives. Now he owns his own trucking business. So
you know what? Can't be mad at that.
No, I'm not. No,
I'm
not.
That's fucking awesome. Shit. At least you got a job there in case you shit goes down south. You know how to drive a truck. You got a CDL, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like me looking for a job in Oklahoma, I've found a bunch, but they all want some sort of associates in business or bachelor's. I'm like, guys, I've literally been in management for 12 years. You can't fucking teach that at school. Exactly. You can't teach that.
Exactly, dude. That's why I'm so I'm not anti-school, but I'm anti needing a fucking higher education when you could just do an apprenticeship, when you could just fucking, why do I need to take all these prerequisite classes in order to get a degree in something that has nothing to do with the prerequisites? You know what I mean? Let's say, for example, I want to be a history teacher. Teach you
got to take algebra 2. to be a history
Exactly. I'm not trying to fucking find out the square root of fucking George Washington's teeth. I don't give
No,
a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
nobody cares. I just want to teach some fucking history, man.
Exactly, dude. Um, any fucking times that like have there been times where that since you become because you've been a civilian now for a hot minute, like over 10
Yeah, for a while.
any times like you like get
Years.
nostalgic, start like missing like damn, what are some things that you miss from out there or that you had in the military that you don't see out here in the civilian world?
I mean, I honestly like the field problems. I thought that was fun. You know, for me, just hanging out with everybody. Phones weren't a big deal back then, so it wasn't that big of a. And just the raunchiness of the the comedy and the male nudity that might have gone on while
Oh, please.
everybody was
Do
out and
you have
about.
any examples?
Hey, I've seen Cruz naked once. He took a bag. He brought a bag, which everybody used this bag, by the way. He had a Coleman bag that you could put water in, and on one side it was black, and it had a hose that come down. He just leave it on top of the gun, and that way when we were riding around all day, that water would get good and hot. Well, he one day was all like, "I'm gonna take me a shower," and he literally went out to the tube of the gun, hung that some bitch up, and took a shower, butt ass naked.
Hell yes, I miss that shit too, man. I ain't gonna lie. I used to do that shit as well. I would get the water jugs, and
Oh, that shit was so cold.
no, not after in a fucking hot Georgia summer.
Well, I don't know about no Georgia summer now.
Georgia summer was bad. It was bad. Well, I would just have them fucking dump it over me. Whether my gun or a number one man, just have them dump it over me. I would stand inside of my drip pan and then
Mhm.
just lather up. I'll tell you what I did not like was in Fort Hood. The humidity. I fucking hated it out in the field. I don't know if
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was in here or I mean if it was in Texas or if it was in Georgia. By the way, probably both. All I remember was one of the
It was
woods.
probably more in Georgia, but fucking those Texas fucking heat, that shit out there. Oh my god, dude, miserable.
Yeah, I remember going to the wood line with two canteens to go do a quick fucking bird bath, right?
Yeah.
I put on a crisp new uniform, fucking feeling good. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, definitely Georgia because I was an NCO by then, so I needed to look good. So I'm like, I'm crisp. I fucking feel good. I'm telling you, I walked about another maybe 75 meters from the wood line to the gun. By the time I got to the gun, I was
Sweating
all
your
fucking
ass off.
sweating and stank all over again, bro.
Not looking good anymore.
Eh, I tried. At least I tried. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was one thing, and the barracks parties, just the camaraderie of it all. I've got some guys I work with. Oil and gas industry again. It's a tight knit group of people.
mhm.
I know a lot of people, not just from Oklahoma, but Texas, Colorado, North Dakota. I mean, I've been blessed with meeting a lot of great people. I've met some real shitbags too. But just the camaraderie of everything, kind of like what we're doing now, what you do with your podcast. Bringing guys on that you may not have talked to in 20 years.
Right.
You know, just enjoying that kind of stuff.
So I mean, it's good that you found yourself in a field where it it has some of the culture that you had in the military.
And it's getting softer. It's becoming a way softer oil and gas industry.
Really?
It's surprising enough. These hands. These guys all want to work and they want to make good money, but they don't want to work the hours. They don't want to be gone from their family that long. And it's all like, guys, like, this is what it is. It's kind of no different than going out to a field problem. When you're there, you're not going fucking home. So you better pack all the shit you need, unless you're broken or something happens. But and I don't know if it's a generation or what it is. It's becoming a softer oil field where you're almost, as a manager or someone in management, you're almost held hostage by the people that work under you.
They're gonna HR you, some kind of fucking report you for some reason. Then that's bullshit, dude. And it's crazy how
Yeah, I mean, they're going to say, well, no, I'm not going to go out and do that job because I've already worked my 14 days. Well, guys, let's help the company out. Let's take this job. You get a little extra hours, and I'll make it up for you. I'll give you 2 extra days on your days off.
right.
You just can't work with them.
So it's basically it's like the alphabet. I comes before you.
It's exactly what it is. They want their paycheck. They want to work their 14 and 7. They want to go home. Which, hey, I get it. But, at the end of the day, if you work a couple extra hours, you may help somebody else out that might have just had a newborn baby that wants to stay home a little bit longer.
Not only that, that type of shit gets looked at when it's time to make some cuts.
It
You know what
does.
I'm saying? It's just like I remember when we would have the in the military, they would do the AER, the funds, like the Army Emergency Relief donated shit
Yeah.
like that. And I remember somebody placed it in the form of like, you don't have to give. You don't have to, but it's highly encouraged that you do because
Even if you're an E nothing private, $5 is $5, you know.
plus, for example, let's say you have a pass that you want to put in for, the commander might look a different way of like, did he assist in our
Did
and
he pitch in?
yeah, and if not, it could be one of those things like, you know what, he put him on CQ instead. I'm not saying that it happens, I'm saying that there's
It more than likely probably does.
so I mean,
Because I mean, yeah, when we were furloughing guys and when I was trying to pick guys and who, I would go to my managers and just basically, hey, like, who do we need to keep? Who's going to stick around? Who's helped the business? Who hasn't given us any shit? Who do the customers like?
right.
Those guys I put in one bucket. The other guys we decided to either furlough or let go.
Yeah.
I mean, and that should be in any kind of industry, I think.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, they become a liability.
Exactly. I mean, they're not going to be willing to help at all.
Right. That's crazy shit, man. Crazy shit.
And I missed another thing I missed, which may be kind of weird. I actually missed the deployments. I only went on one, but just something being out there and knowing that everybody that's there with you all has your back. No matter if you're having a hard day, things are going good, you're having problems with the homes. Everybody, it's just a big family.
It is. And a lot of us that have deployed, we miss it. I'm there with you, bro. I miss.
Oh yeah, I mean, I miss it. I sadly enough, I do miss it.
I don't.
And it's not even the money or anything. It was
Right.
just maybe a little bit of the excitement and just you're there with all your friends and family. I mean, because everybody you were in the military with, they're all family except
Right.
for the really shitty ones like the Freemans, not family at all.
Thankfully,
but yeah, Oh, I got a good story about this guy. Anyways, yeah. So those are the stuff. So Freeman, one time, I got a great story on him. Did not show up for PT, so I was the chosen one to go find Freeman in his house. So Chief says, "Hey, go find that motherfucker, drag him out of his house, bring him here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." I think it was an E3 or an E4 or something like that. I was like, "Fucking got this, Chief. Gotcha." So I go to Freeman's shit shack. It was literally like a rundown ass double wide trailer, and he had just recently got married, I think, at that time too.
Oh wow.
So knock on the door, and and I think at that time we still had BDUs, so I was decked out my BDUs and all that shit, banging on the door, and his wife opens up. Yes, I said, I need Freeman. Where's he at? She's like, oh, he's still in bed. I was like, his ass should have been at PT. That's where his ass needed to be. So I walk in the house, and they have got dishes just covered up everywhere. The house smells like cat piss, and I never saw a cat, so I don't know. Anyways, this motherfucker comes rolling out of bed, comes walking in the living room in his underwear. He's all like, oh, hey, what's going on? I was like, you need to get fucking dressed, and you need to get in my vehicle and come with me now. Well, I don't know, man. I'm tired, don't feel good. I was like, that's not an option. Get your shit on. So he comes, go get some shit on. He comes out in the most wrinkly looking shit ever. Even his fucking top, his hat was wrinkly. Like he just drug everything out. Boots weren't shined or nothing, dude. He fucking, I'm so glad they got rid of him. But I get him back and Tank before even my chief, before Weimer could get to him, fucking Tank was all over his ass.
Oh my god, dude.
And I think shortly after that, I think they ended up kicking him out for I think it was failure to adapt. I think is what it was.
More than likely, because I mean,
I don't know why he didn't get kicked out in fucking basic.
Did you go to basic with him?
Fuck no. If I had, I'd have been begging for somebody to fucking kick him out.
It makes you wonder how motherfuckers like that made it through the cracks. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like this is the same dude that showed up with two different kind of boots, with a jungle boot and a fucking a different boot.
This is the same dude that went AWOL while living on post.
Yeah. how do guys like that even get in? And they still get a DD 214 when they get out, and it's is it an honorable discharge or
General.
general? But even still, like
Yeah,
employees will be like, oh, it's not dishonorable. He's good.
exactly. Because they think everything is dishonorable. No, you got your bad conduct, you got your general under
Yeah.
honorable condition, shit like that, you know. But yeah, they don't give a fuck, you know. God damn, Freeman. I know
I
he
feel
was.
sorry
I
for
know he,
wherever he ended up and wherever he's at now. I hope he's living good and I
yeah.
hope he's fine. But I could not imagine deploying with that guy.
Oh God, no, and that brings me back to the whole the army isn't for everybody. Yeah, everybody should go ahead and get a chance to do it, but if you can't make it, you can't make it. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
the recruiter should have been like, no, I ain't trying to put this motherfucker in. Fuck that. I
You
know I got quotas I got to meet, but this ain't one of them.
that dude, man, he was something special. He was something special, man.
Oh,
But I mean,
he built because before he was married, I actually had a barracks. I was in a barracks room with him.
you shared a room with that
I
motherfucker.
shared a room with this
Oh
motherfucker, which
my
is probably why I think in hindsight, Chief sent me to go get him. Yeah, I shared a room with him. I left and went somewhere. I think I might have went home to Arkansas or whatever, and he was still there. I come back and the room's got a big old rug on it because you know the military rooms are just hard laminate floor, and
God.
it's got a big ass rug. And I was all like, Freeman, where'd the fucking rug come from? He's like, oh, I had to buy it. I was like, I had to buy it for what? And he lifted it up. He had spilt a whole deal of black dye like we used to use for our boots. That
Yeah.
spilt the whole fucking deal on the ground. So instead of trying to clean it up real good, he just put some newspaper on it, like that kid off Big Daddy or whatever it was. He just covered up newspaper.
This motherfucker thought that.
I just put the rug over it. Nobody will see it.
Wow.
But I was the one because he got married and left.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the live off post. And when we checked out of it was because we were living way away from the fucking from where the unit was. Like it was probably a good 15-minute walk or more. Because at that time I didn't have a car, so it was either find somebody to ride with or walking.
Right, right.
And it's a long fucking walk. But they moved us closer to the unit, which was right across the street from the 4ID Museum.
Right, right.
When they moved us there, I was the one who had to check out of that room because it was still in my name.
Did they fucking dock your pay on it?
No, they didn't. And the only reason they didn't was they were redoing all those rooms anyways.
Fucking Freeman. God damn. Why didn't he make one of his fucking free bots clean that shit?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. And why he thought just throwing that over, what he should have done was, oh shit, I spilt it. I need to call chief or get a hold of housing or something. Be like, hey, I fucked up.
Right.
I spilt this shit. It's my fault. Like, nobody, you're not going to get in trouble. We're going to make fun of you for it, but you're not going to get in trouble for it. Shit happens.
You know, own up to your shit, man. Good.
Take accountability.
God, you know what? And that's something that for a while has been going downhill. Motherfuckers don't take it. You know, it's just being a man. Being a man about shit is taking responsibility for your actions. You know what I'm saying? When you do good, you do good. But when you fuck up, you know.
And I think that's everywhere. Like you see it in every industry, no matter where you work, sales or fucking restaurants or whatever it is. It's always you find those people who are just like, oh, I didn't do that. But motherfucker, I just watched you do it. No, wasn't me. Just fucking own up to it. Take your licks and fucking move on. Be done with it. Learn from it. Something.
Fucking A. So good shit, brother, man. God damn, it's been good talking with you. I don't want to cut this off just yet. Just a couple of more questions.
What's up?
How do you think the military made an impact in you to who you are now in the future?
I think, it gave me structure. I picked a great field when I got out of the military to jump into because our industry has to be structured. You've got jobs that have to go out, explosives that have to be accounted for, all that kind of shit. I mean, it's structured, and I don't think I had much of attention to detail whenever I got in, but now it's I look at a lot of stuff within the work I do, just dotting, whether it's crossing the T's and dotting the I's or whatever, but just really looking over everything with a fine-tooth comb and making sure it's right.
So it sounds like a 13 banger could actually make an easy transition into the oil fields, so long as they're willing to put in the work, because I mean, in the field artillery world, attention to detail is fucking key. You
It
know,
is key.
and
Having your azimuth off just a little bit and that round impacts on friendly troops, you're fucked. I mean, you've got to be attention to detail with that kind of stuff because people's lives depend on it when you're in.
yeah, and
Not just your life, but the people, the lives around you.
I would assume it's the same way in the oil fields as well. Like, I mean, it's pretty dangerous fucking work out there, isn't it?
Yeah, heavy iron, high pressure, everything's in a sense, everything's out to kill you while you're out there. I mean, we deal with explosives, lots of high pressure iron and stuff like that. So I mean, overhead loads, having let's say 8,000 pounds hanging off a big old crane, and you have to walk underneath it to do work. I mean, it's attention to detail like a motherfucker.
So let me ask you, are my people taking those jobs yet, or
There's a bunch of your people in the oil and gas industry, and I prefer to hire them, sadly enough, because they fucking work harder. And they don't give you, that's true. They work harder. They don't give you no shit. Their attention to detail. I have had some bad ones, but they're really proud of the work they do.
Right.
And it's not just your brown people, but I mean, there's white people and everybody else. I've met all walks of life being in this industry.
And just to drop something in there, we speak like this because we used to clown on each other a lot about racial shit. We're not racist people, but I do call him, my little cracker and my sexy cracker. Mm-hmm. I'm a little brownie.
I'm a white guy, but I'm not a racist white guy, I promise you.
Yeah, I can count on my hand how many black folks I know.
I can too, but that don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything.
Hey, and plus we have a very good Jewish friend,
Who's the Jew?
Old Kowalsberg.
Kowalsberg. God. He's not Jewish.
He's not. God, he hates that shit now. I think it finally got to the point of he couldn't take it anymore.
Although he's got that sweet mustache now. So
that mustache looks fucking epic. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of jealous of your motherfucking goatee right there, bro.
It's pretty fluffy.
It looks nice. It looks fucking nice.
Dude. I keep joking around with the wife and telling her I'm just going to cut all this off and just have a mustache. She's like, no, bitch.
Dude, hell yeah.
Just have that. Everybody says that shit. Everybody's like, yeah, do it. And I'm all like,
dude, get that Mexican, it's called a brocha, a brocha. It's like a big ass stash that goes almost over their fucking mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, straight gangster that shit. And then on Halloween, you could dress up like an essay. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it. Well, that would be racist if I dressed up.
No, it wouldn't. And then you could be Big Joker, and then you got Little Joker, and then Baby Joker, bro.
20s and 50s, bitches and titties.
Hell yeah!
I watched that movie the other day.
Dude,
what is that? Next Friday or the Friday after next?
I think it was next Friday. No, Friday after next. The one where they went to
Friday. I can't remember. It was one of those.
Yeah.
Fucking Chico.
No more locked doors.
No more locked doors. They made me crazy.
Oh shit! I'm bilingual. There's a difference.
Oh, that movie's fucking good. Why'd you hit my dog, man? He didn't do nothing to you.
Animal abuse. Oh man, dude, I really, this is the type of shit that I really miss out here, man. I mean, honestly, the kinship and the friendships and the camaraderie that we had in the military is something that I've struggled with out here in the civilian sector because I don't seem to be able to find that same relationship with other folks that we shared. You
gotta find some like-minded people.
I do, and that's always brought me to a sense of belonging. It's one of those things that I wanted to discuss as well on the podcast, like a sense of belonging to something, and that's something I've always wanted to do. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna hit on that one here on another midweek memo. But yeah, dude, it's a trip because it feels great when I'm talking to another veteran, but it feels even better when I'm talking to a veteran I served with. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah. I mean, we deployed together. We were there. You don't find that just anywhere.
I think when we were talking about the deployments and shit, I think one of the things that we miss about it is the risk that's there. The adrenaline pumping, and just that we're all sharing that experience together.
Yeah,
and I think that's what bonds us even more. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know what really bonded us. Rippets.
Oh fuck yeah! I thought you were gonna say watching porn, but yeah, Rip It's definitely, bro.
I mean that too.
I mean, that and the hatred towards Wilson.
Oh God. I haven't heard or thought about that name in a long time. Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. I can't wait to go back to light. When the fuck were you light, Wilson?
When
Man,
I was at SEAL.
bitch, you weren't light. You were a trainee, motherfucker.
In
Oh,
light. Oh
that,
Lord.
that guy was something else, man. Dude,
We
your
had
family is beautiful.
we mainly had a pretty good group. You know, we had a few fuck ups, but when we deployed, I think that was a solid group of people.
Oh yeah,
We had great leadership, great soldiers, like a good and healthy rivalry with everybody's section,
oh yeah,
and
dude.
it was good.
The military culture back then, as how it is now, was it's shifted. At
Like,
least,
how was it whenever compared to when you got in to when you got out? Like, what were some things you noticed that were way different?
okay, that's a good question, dude. Damn, look at you interviewing the interviewee here. Damn.
Boom.
Boom. All right, I'll give you one. When I was a private, I was standing parade rest. I was a E none. I didn't have no mosquito wings, nothing on my
Not
collar.
even mosquito wings.
Not even. I went to parade rest for Moya, and he was a PFC. All right. So because it was instilled in me that anybody who outranks you, you stand at parade rest. You know what I'm saying? And then so that was one thing. Another thing was the thing that I saw that shifted the most was the NCO Corps. That the NCOs were focusing more on themselves
Then their soldiers.
than their soldiers or than the section or the platoon. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Because I
So
know when I was in, like, I know some soldiers they had fucked up, but Chief took care of it. It didn't need to go anywhere else. It didn't need a counseling statement. We didn't take it to Gunny or Smoke or anybody else. Chief took care of it. You had some shit duties, you worked your ass off and shit like that, but that's as far as it went. And you learned.
and not only that, it was kept at the lowest level possible. You always
Exactly.
keep shit at the lowest level. But one of the biggest shifts that I saw, like I said, was I saw the leadership of Sergeant Taylor, Weimer, Dufour, you know, fucking Pete, Campos, fucking Grip.
Solid NCOs.
Yeah, dude, fucking solid. I mean, and they were tight together. You know what I mean?
It was a great group of people to. I think we were all blessed whenever we got to 277 to have that kind of leadership because we learned from them how to be leaders. You know, the guys that stayed in longer. And I also think we learned more about the guns and about being in the military from those guys from watching them.
Dude. And that's one thing I learned was like, I as I was getting out, I was still trying to fucking guide my soldiers, trying to be there for my soldiers. I wasn't going to be my soldiers' friends. That's one thing I wasn't going to be, but I was going to be there for them. I might chew your motherfucking ass out and dig in it, but right afterwards, I'm going to be like, all right, now let's go fucking do this. Let's go hang out. Let's go. Yeah. But it was just different, dude. And I just saw that I saw a lot of motherfuckers getting promoted with not worthy of promotion. They were promoted to sergeant just simply because of the time that they've had in the military.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker's been there in 8 years. If he can't lead, he can't fucking lead.
Don't put him in a leadership position.
But here goes the good old army, and they're fucking like, oh, well, he has the potential. No. Ask the first line leader if he has the potential. There's a reason that motherfucker's still there. Exactly. So I saw that, and I saw the NCO Corps again go more to being wanted to be liked versus being respected and feared, if that makes sense. Because I feared the fuck out of our NCOs, but
I did too. Well. They were well respected, and any of them asked us or me, hey, Dowden, go down here. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But
gotcha.
There were still some.
Oh well, my chief's got to do something else. Yada yada. No, you fucking go do that shit, and you can take the chewing from your chief later.
Exactly, dude. And that's another thing, bro. Here's another one that since you brought this up, you're opening up a can of worms here. The only time you would ever talk to first sergeant was if you had like a Red Cross message or you're about to get your ass dug into. You're about to go see the man. Yeah. Other than that,
we had a good first sergeant. First sergeant Britton would talk to anybody.
Got it. But I never had any I just know the leadership that he had. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But it's not like I ever had like a one-on-one relationship with him.
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
know that
oh, hey, what's going on? You know, what's
right. It wasn't one of those things right there because again, back then, the only time you talked to your first sergeant was Red Cross message or your ass is in deep shit.
exactly.
And I was in deep shit when I had to go see him in fucking Flores for yes,
Little,
yes. A little drink.
I know you, and because of that, you caused everybody had to go stand up in that fucking conference room that everybody's brains had to go get gone through.
Really?
Yeah, because since you had liquor, everybody else had to have it too, right?
I guess, but hey, at least I didn't snitch on nobody. God damn it! I went down with the chip.
I went down, took it all on my own.
I did, Chief. I did. But no, I mean that's one thing. That's the shit that I've seen. That yeah, you could have a personal relationship with your soldiers, but it's always got to be a professional. You know,
Yeah,
and you got unless you find those onesies and twosies that know how to flip the switch. In Korea, you saw that a lot. Motherfuckers knew that. All right, during party time, we're partying, but work is fucking work. I'm still
yeah,
cheap.
but probably over there you probably had to, because I mean that's all you got. All the people you have to hang out with, is everybody you fucking work with every day. So
Oh yeah, you know
you really don't have much of an option.
you really didn't, because you always see each other in the same fucking club in the same fucking bill all the time.
Yeah, you're gonna run into them all the time. You may as well just grow to like them.
What are some things that you really miss about the military? If you could
Going to work with my friends every day.
yeah.
I mean, that's I love going to the motor pool, even though it fucking sucked, but seeing everybody at the motor pool, barracks parties, they're pretty fun. Lopez jumping in fires and shit like that.
Allegedly, I was pushed.
No, there's a lot of people. I think everybody else's stories line up pretty well. I think you're the only one that says you were pushed into the fire.
Dude, all I remember that night was prior to falling down on that, Chooks he was walking around with a bottle of fucking, I don't know if it was Presidente or Don P, but just fucking taken to the head, bro. And I fell in the fire. Good times.
I think 2 people fell in the fire that night, didn't
they? I fell in, and I think
I thought maybe Grenice tried to jump over it or something like that. Didn't he get caught up in it?
Something about that, yeah. All I remember was he said he woke up with his shoes that were melted.
Yeah, I think he tried to walk through it or jump over it and landed in it or some shit like that.
Yes, sir, dude. It was great seeing Grenice here. Under different circumstances would have been better, but hanging out with Grenice, hung out with Roberson, even Musty McCabe. It was good hanging out with him and Kowalczyk and Bash.
Yeah,
it was really good seeing them linking up. I'll tell you what, there was no social distancing involved. Like,
man, who's got time for all that shit anyway?
I'm just saying, like, we saw each other, we hugged, no mask, no nothing.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm still good here. So yeah, man, I'm really hoping that we can start getting. I know there was some shit being talked about on the 277 FA page about doing a fucking reunion.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's a bigger group of 582 guys, to be honest with you.
Right, and that's the way I was feeling about
it. At first, it started as a 582 deal, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, I was 582 and 277," so then they added the 277. But I think it was mainly geared towards the 582 guys, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean,
but, I don't know, fucking 90% of them motherfuckers.
Right. I was 277, and that's all I was. Hey, 582ers, cool with y'all, man. Right on. I mean, some of my folks went to that and became that first calf bullshit, but I'm 277 till I die.
Earn their sweet hats and their fucking stirrups or whatever those things are. They had the Stetsons and the stirrups.
Are they stirrups? Is that what they're called?
I think they're called stirrups, but
Spurs. Okay, stirrups.
Spurs. There we go. Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah, I think they had spurs that they wore on their funny little mountain boots.
That's right. That's so cute. They wear a nice little Stetson and fucking spurs. How cute. Get the fuck out of here. I'm a red leg, god damn it.
I think fucking First Cav's about the only one that's got all that stuff anyways, isn't it? Like,
I think,
what 4ID have? We didn't have no sweet hats or none of that shit.
Fuck no. We don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fuck that. We were 277, baby. We were the bastard children of the goddamn brigade.
No,
But
we
we
were,
didn't care shit.
but we were the best.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. And I made the best fucking friendships there, man. Dude, before we wrap this up, man, anything you want to go ahead and give any kind of advice to anybody that might be listening to this that's in or on their way out or transition?
Oh man, if you're still in, use the school shit. Because I promise you, employers are looking for people with degrees. It's just you may have a great resume, but if you don't have that associate's or business degree, nah, we're out. You know, um, don't take it for granted either. I mean, that was some of the best times I've ever had in my life. And there's days where I wish I would have stayed in longer, but there's probably a reason I didn't. You know, maybe God didn't want me to go. Maybe that next deployment, we may not be having this conversation.
Amen to that, brother. Amen.
So other than that, just really look at what you want to do when you get out and clear the path for it.
Words of wisdom from fucking Baby D. Oh,
From the guy who transitioned out of the military relatively easy.
And the guy who would wear a fucking big ass styrofoam hat.
And I had a big old Viking hat on last night. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, so
I'll pull it up on the old face space for you.
Oh God.
Let's see here.
Dude, I'm so ready to get rid of social media, but you know what? I'm looking forward. What in the whoa, look at that shit.
Look how sexy I am now.
Woo! That's a sexy.
That's my Viking hat.
Badass. So I guess you retired. Well, the sheriff one got taken by the Iraqis, right?
I finally had to throw that thing away. It was starting to kind of change weird colors. And I remember throwing it in the dumpster and was coming back from breakfast or lunch or something like that. And one of them fucking Iraqis dug that bitch out of the dumpster and was wearing it through the fob.
Those motherfuckers would fucking take anything you throw out, man.
I know. And of all the things for me to stuff inside of a duffel bag, why would I stick a big giant blue foam hat in there?
Because you were fucking Dowden. Dowden of fucking 15 years ago is not the same Dowden that he is now.
I'm still sexy. I'm still tall. I'm a little bit more in shape, is what I'll call it. Because round's a shape.
Yeah, it is. You're fluffy.
I'm in shape.
You're fluffy, baby.
I'm still a goofy motherfucker,
though. And we love you that way. Don't ever change, baby.
It drives my wife crazy sometimes, but hey.
I'm glad to have you here on the Gun Line, man. I hope you come back on here sometime and shoot the shit with us again.
Yeah, anytime, man.
I appreciate it. Happy New Year again to you and your family. And dude, it's been awesome catching up with you. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of fellas out there waiting to see this podcast because they know they want to hear from you and how you've been.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
We must.
I've got some work going on down south of San Antonio, so if I have to make a trip down there,
mi casa su casa.
Come holler at you.
Come holla, holla, holla. All right, brother.
Even though you don't drink anymore, but we can still hang out.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't drink, but I'm okay with not drinking. 2.5 years almost now.
Damn.
Yeah. If we remembered who this guy was when he would drink, yeah, it's a good thing I don't drink anymore.
You're still a good time.
Sometimes. I mean, depends what kind of good time we're talking about. All right, y'all. Hey, Gunline. I'll catch y'all on Wednesday for the midweek memo. I always say Wednesday, but I end up dropping that shit on Tuesday. But love, peace, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all then. Happy New Year to everybody. And rounds complete. Intermission. Gunline out. Bye, motherfuckers.